Hey, how you doing? Justin here. Today we are checking out Behind Blue Eyes, and I'm not going to try and sing it because I've just had a few goes at it and it sounds pretty rough. So we're going to leave off the me singing it bit at the beginning for this particular one. So I'm going to take you through a couple of different ways of playing this tune because there's quite a few different versions of it around. In my tab book, the rock song book, I've tabbed out exactly the intro and the verses, and I'm going to take you through that now, and then I'm going to show you kind of a couple of different options for playing the chorus. So let's start off by having a little run through the chords. So all of the intro is an E sus4 chord. So if you start with a regular E chord and then put your little finger down in the second fret of the third string, so you've got open, second, 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 open, open. That's the one chord that's used for the whole of the intro there. So all of this, that stuff is all just the one chord, and we're going to go into the detail of what notes to pick out exactly in a little while. But before we do that, I want to go through the chords for the verses and the choruses as well, so that you're up to speed with that when we start looking at the detail of the picking. Because it's really, this tune's all about getting that pick and hand working right. It's quite a difficult tune actually and very, very difficult to play it right and sing it at the same time. I can't do it yet, but anyway. Onwards and upwards to the verse. So the chords for the verse, I'm just going to stick to the simple 4 down strums per bar, but you could of course fancy the rhythm up if you want as well. So we're starting off with an E minor chord. So E minor knows what it's G to be a D chord, sus4 back to D to be a C add 9 to an A sus2. Let me go through a couple of those chords in case you're not familiar with them. Mostly E minor. I'm pretty sure you're going to be hit with that one. The G chord. Now again, there's a couple of approaches here. You could play just a regular old G chord using all 4 fingers, or the 3-finger G. What I tend to use for this one is just the 3rd and 4th finger. So the 3rd finger on the 3rd fret of the thicker string, little finger on the 3rd fret of the thinner string, making sure that the 3rd finger's leaning over and muting the 5th string, and then open 2nd, 3rd and 4th strings. And the reason that's kind of cool is because you can add a G sus4 in a bit later in the song, which would be adding the 1st finger in the 1st fret of the 2nd string. It's a nice little touch. So you might want to get used to using the G chord, using just that 2-fingered idea. So E minor to G to a D chord, then adding little finger down the 3rd fret of the thinner string for the D sus4, back off, and now to the C add 9. Now to get to a C add 9, you want to leave your 3rd finger where it is on the D chord and just move the 2nd finger to the 3rd fret of the 5th string and 1st finger to 2nd fret of the 4th string. So you've got nothing on the thickest, then 2nd, 3rd, open, 3rd, open, okay? So C add 9, very cool chord. And then we're going to an A sus2, which is nothing on the thickest string, then open, 2nd, 2nd, open, open. Okay, so let's run through that one more time because it's used again for verse 2 as well. So E minor to G to a D chord, sus4 back to D to the C add 9, 2 bars, and then to A sus2 for 2 bars. And it's exactly the same for verse 2. E minor to G to D, sus4, D to C add 9 for 2 bars, and then to A sus2. Into the chorus, but my C to D, the honest G chord, as my C chord D to E. I have B minor, only C chord. My love is D chord, sus4, that's never a sus2. For a whole 4 bars. Let me talk you through those chords again. So the chorus is 1 bar of C, 1 bar of D, 1 bar of G. So if you want to put that little kind of sus thing, we need to kind of fancy the rhythm up a little bit, but it's just putting the first finger down there on the first fret of the second string to get that G sus sound. So again, C, if you're strumming, to D, to G, sus4, back to G, to C, to D, to E. Now here on this E chord, there's definitely a version where it's going E, to an A chord with an E bass. So you change E, an A chord, but you still keep that low E ringing, and then back to E. But there's another couple of versions I've heard of it where he stays on the E for the whole time. So it's up to you depending on which version it is that you want to do for that. And it's going to B minor for 2 bars, and then to C chord for 2 bars, then to D chord, sus4, D, and back to the A sus2. Now, a couple of the little options that you got here. There's the versions where it's strumming. Down, 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 up, down, up, down, 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 up, down, up. There's a really nice pattern there that you might want to check out. So just 1, 2, 3, and 4, and 1, 2, 3, and 4. Okay, so that would be probably your best bet for strumming, but it's not exactly the really strict kind of a strumming pattern there. So I'd start with that and then see if you want to fiddle about a little bit more. The version that I've just been listening to now has finger picking all of the way through the chorus, so except for the very last bar of the A sus2. So again, that's another option if you want to continue the finger style in. I haven't got a finger style pattern written out for the chorus, so you'd have to make one up based on the finger picking pattern I'm going to show you for the verses, which is exactly the same as the recording. Well, one of the recordings, because as I said, there seems to be a few. Later in the song, so we will get to the finger picking in just a second, so keep calm. Later in the song, we've got this little link bit where it kind of gets a lot, it feels faster, okay? So instead of it being that kind of, which feels kind of pretty laid back because of the finger style, later on it kicks into this. It's the same tempo really, but so that little section is E, B minor to A, E, 2, 3, 4, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1, 2, 3, 4, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. So we got that little delayed B minor chord there and the pushed A. So it kind of makes the rhythm of it a little bit more interesting. You could, of course, if you're a beginner, play it just real straight. 2, 3, 4, B minor to A. But beginners are going to be struggling with that B minor chord, probably. So, you know, you might want to have a listen to the original recording. That's generally the best way to learn these kind of more complicated rhythmic patterns. Really, if you're listening to the record, it becomes a lot more obvious than trying to count it out. So, the link bit there I showed you was 1 bar of E minor, then the B minor to A, and then it continues into the bridge, which is E, B minor, A to E, B minor, G, D, B minor, A to D, B minor, A to E, B minor, A to E, B minor, A to E, B minor, G to D, B minor, A to D, B minor, A to E. And then we've got more of that riffage. Okay, so that's a rough look at the bridge, but again, you're going to have to listen to the record and really try and pick up on those kind of the rhythmic pushes and to and fros that happen in it, because it's not something that's very easy to explain. It would be so long-winded and quite boring that you could learn it yourself by listening now that you know what the chords are. So let's go to a close-up now and check out the picking pattern for the intro and the verses. So that's the intro there. It's all the E sus4 chord. Let's go through the strings that are played. So it's 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 3, 4. That's the first bar. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 3, 4. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. Okay, that's the only kind of rhythmic variation. The rest is even eighth notes all of the way through. The second bar. Now, just the picking direction, you could try whatever kind of works for you. I'm using down, 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 up, up, up. But, you know, you could try different things. As long as you get the rhythm right, it's going to be fine. The second bar, first, second, third, fourth, second, third, second, fourth. Okay? First, second, third, fourth, second, third, second, fourth. Those two bars together. Okay, bar 3 is going 5, 4, 3, 2, 3, 4, 5, 4, and then again 5, 4, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, that's second, those bars 3 and 4 again. 5, 4, 3, 2, 3, 4, 5, 4, 5, 4, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Again, I'm using down, 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 down. I have to think about what it is that I'm doing. Down, 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 up, 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 down, up, down, 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 up, 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 up. Down, 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 up, 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 down, up, down, 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 up, 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 up. Okay, let's do the whole thing nice and slowly. And it's just real slow, conscious practice that's going to get you hip with that. There's no point trying to rush it. Just gradually build up the speed when you feel really confident that you can do it right. So let's now have a look at the verse picking. This is taken exactly off the record, well, one of the recordings of this anyway, so it's a good place to start, but if you're going to sing it and play it, you might find yourself improvising a bit, because it's quite tricky to play it exactly the same, and I'm not sure Pete Townsend ever plays it exactly the same as this anyway, but this is a really good place to start, and this is what's written out there for you in tab in the rock songbook. So starting off with an E minor chord, we play 6 string, 5, 3, 1, 2, 3, 5, and then an open D string. Okay? 6, 4, 3, 1, 2, 3, 5, and then the open 4th string we change to the G, and we're going to play 6 string, 3, 2, 1, 2, 3, 6, 3. Okay, again on the G. 6, 3, 2, 1, 2, 3, 6, 3. Then we change to the D and we play 4, 3, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1. Then it's the next bar, which is the D sus4, and we play the 2nd string, 1st string, 2nd string, 3rd string, back to regular D, first string, second string, third string, fourth string. It's a very weird pattern, that one. I want the sus4 to come on the beat, but it definitely doesn't on the record. So those 2 bars on the D, 4, 3, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4. Then we change to the C add 9, and we're going to play strings 5, 3, 2, 1, 2, 3, then the open D. Okay, open 4th string. So we lift off our first finger to allow that open D to happen, and then we play the G string. So the C add 9 bar again, 5, 3, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 3. And again, 5, 3, 2, 1, 2, 3, open 4th string to the G, and then the A sus2, 5, 3, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 3, 5, 3, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 3. Oh man, this is a sticky little pattern, this one, it really is. So let's go through all of the way from the E minor chord. This tune is definitely pretty tricky for the old pick and hand, you know. A couple of little hints for you that might speed up the process. First thing is try and use an anchor finger, so get your little finger kind of grounded on the guitar, because it'll give you a better judgment of the distances between the strings as you're skipping over them, because it's usually the skipping of the strings that becomes the hardest part. The second hint is that everybody has a different kind of comfort zone for picking, and they'll prefer to pick a down pick or an up pick or alternate pick, and it's okay to do those different things. Don't feel like you have to do exactly the picking patterns that I've shown you. You might like to start with that and see if it feels good for you, but you know, don't be afraid to change it up and find out what works best for your style of playing. It doesn't have to be, you know, exactly the same, because I'm pretty sure that Pete wouldn't have done it exactly the same every time. And the third thing, if you do want to learn it exactly right, then you really got to just do it real slow. You know, even that intro, just playing through it at a quarter of the speed of the original recording, and really making sure that you get it right before you speed it up, because every time you make a mistake, you're making it harder for yourself to get right. So doing it real slow, really slow. That slow or slower, you know, properly slow, and making sure that you get it right. You'll find it a lot easier to get it up to tempo doing it that way. For the verses and the choruses, where you're doing those picking patterns, don't feel like you have to stay with that exactly the same picking pattern all the time, particularly for the chorus, because as I've said, there's a few different versions anyway. You can strum it. I think personally I quite like the sound of it being kind of picked out for the verses and strummed for the choruses. If I was playing it solo acoustic, that's probably the approach I'd go for. But if you want to pick out those the chords in the chorus as well, just kind of base it off the patterns that we've looked at for the verse and see if you can make up your own thing, because it's not really strict. If you're a huge Who fan, it's hard to say, you might want to go and listen to the recording a bunch of times and try and pick it up and transcribe it yourself. But there's limited benefit for, you know, doing that. It is a good starting point, you know, if you want to learn the actual versions of it like I've shown you for the verse. Even if you don't end up playing it exactly the same way, it's a good starting point to kind of get the right feel of it. So I hope you have fun playing this tune. It's a real good workout, and I'll see you for plenty more songs very soon. You take care of yourselves. Bye-bye.